Over the past few years, the New England Patriots have committed a lot of effort to fortifying their interior offensive line, both through the draft and free agency. This focus on building a strong interior line has been a cornerstone of their offensive philosophy, emphasizing versatility and physicality in the trenches. However, this has taken years to get depth at those positions, yet it is still a question. It does look like they have found some foundation, but I think the Patriots fans don't want to hear about the need to continue investing in guards. Well, I might have to suggest another offensive lineman for the Patriots to consider that can compete for a starting job in multiple positions right out of the gate. In steps Alabama's Tyler Booker, who is a versatile offensive lineman known for his relentless motor and raw power. His strength at the point of attack makes him a dominating run blocker, and his ability to control defenders with strong hands sets him apart in pass pro. Now, in his junior year, Booker showcases quick feet, enabling him to adjust to different pass rushing moves, and his football IQ makes him a constant asset on the line. While he's still refining his technique and lateral movement, his raw talent, tenacity, and work ethic give him the tools to develop into a reliable starter at the next level. Booker's versatility is the key asset we are going to discuss, because he's shown the ability to play both tackle and guard at Alabama. Right now, I see him primarily as a guard prospect, as his physicality and powerful base suit the interior line. However, his experience at both left and right tackle, including filling in at left tackle against USF and performing admirably, adds significant value for teams needing flexibility. And he's not a traditional guard build. At 6'5" and 352 pounds, he possesses the ideal size and length to match up against NFL caliber defensive linemen, regardless of the position on the line. His raw power paired with his quickness allows him to adjust to different defensive looks, which could elevate his game even further as he transitions to the pro level, regardless of the position. Now for weaknesses, despite his tremendous upside, he still has some areas of his game that need refinement. His lateral movement can be inconsistent, which may expose him against quicker, more agile defensive edge rushers and linemen. This is particularly noticeable when he's in space, as he occasionally struggles to maintain balance and leverage when forced to move side to side. Additionally, his pass blocking technique, while solid overall, can sometimes rely too heavily on his raw power rather than refined mechanics, which could lead to penalties or being beaten by technically sound pass rushers at the NFL level. So for the Patriots, they might not want to throw him out as the blindside tackle immediately. Nevertheless, the guy will probably be a day one starter somewhere on the line. Now, why would the Patriots want another guard? Before you start thinking I'm crazy and start screaming, "We don't need another guard, not in the first round," let me explain it. I understand the Patriots need to keep bolstering the left tackle position. 100%, not going to argue there. However, if someone like Vidarian Lowe or Wallace performs well at left tackle this year, they could diminish the need for a starting left tackle from the draft. It's possible you could draft a developmental guy on day 2 again and see if they can battle for the job. Again, if the Patriots have shown they have a viable left tackle in the building heading into the draft. I'm just saying that. So how does Booker fit in on that? Booker could step into a guard role with the added benefit of tackle flexibility if he continues to show promise, much like how Michael Onwenu has evolved. Keep in mind, Booker can play both sides as a guard and tackle, so let him challenge one of the current starters. This way, the Patriots don't have to overcommit to drafting multiple offensive linemen in the draft and sign several free agents again next year. They can take the advantage of Booker's potential to anchor the interior line if they want, while also offering tackle flexibility, makes him a high upside first round caliber pick in any draft. And before you get all, "I don't want any more guards," he can play tackle. He's got the height. He's 6'5". He has a wingspan that is over 7 feet. His hands are over 10 inches. And all of those are measurables needed for a tackle. By the way, he was recruited as a tackle, and he just played tackle for Alabama against USF, and he did great. So that is not really an argument against him right now. Yes, I would prefer a left tackle or right tackle who has started at the position for 3 or 4 years. That's great. But Booker probably would be a starting tackle in almost every other college football team in the country, with exception of maybe 2 or 3. So, if Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks, or Ursary are off the board and the Patriots want to shore up their offensive line, Booker would at least move the needle being a day one starter on the line. And even if he's only a guard, wouldn't you want to upgrade there? I really like So, and Robinson looks promising. Cole Strange is a question for now, but the point is the guard position needs to be just as solid as the tackles, and is arguably more of a concern for the team looking to run the ball and control the clock. But guards are also crucial to a strong passing game as well. When working with offensive linemen, I explained to the tackles, they are there to keep the QB upright, but for the guards, they provide the platform for the QB to throw a nice accurate pass or space to drive into the throw. And that makes sense if you realize you need a nice pocket for a QB to step into, which is formed by the guards. Otherwise, he's moving in the pocket to find a runway, which messes with mechanics and prolongs the release time, which increases the likelihood of a sack or scrambling or throwing an off-platform pass, which leads to an interception. And there's evidence to back that up. Your more accurate passers and deep ball guys in the game have strong guards on both sides. Mahomes, Stroud, Goff, and Dak have some of the best left and right guards in the game, and their ability to sit in the pocket and deliver a technically sound pass is what makes them great QBs. Look at Stafford against the Lions. His interior offensive line held up, and he was able to deliver some solid throws despite his tackles being the bottom 2 tackle grades for week 1. Now for the Patriots, Lowe and Onwenu had better graded performance than Robinson and Michael Jordan, with those guys being near the bottom of the league in terms of guard performances. And also, they were going against backup defensive tackles, whereas Verdarian was going against the NFL's second best pass rusher last year. I know it's only week 1 and our top guards are hurt or not playing guard, but it's arguable that the guard position is still an issue even with all that effort and picks to fix it. Again, Booker can be a contender for left tackle, left guard, or right tackle. He's an offensive lineman, just like Onwenu. And if Booker's another Onwenu, great. That allows you to have flexibility on the roster in the coming years. And you won't be screwed if a tackle or guard goes down. And I think Booker can handle it. I suggest you listen to his interviews. The kid sounds like he knows his stuff and is a student of the game. Plus, he's from Connecticut, so he's used to playing in the Northeast. All pluses in my book, and it adds conviction that Booker can be a skilled offensive lineman. But we need to wait and see if he even comes out this year, or if he decides to return to college for another season. If he does enter the draft, when should the Patriots target him? As I've said in my previous videos, it's likely the Patriots are going to have a top 10 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. So that should give you a shot at Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks Jr., and Ariante Ursary. After them, my big board starts leaning to the right tackle spot, which the Patriots might not need to target considering Onwenu and Wallace. So the next grouping of left tackles for me are not clear 1 starters right out of the box their rookie season. Maybe they compete, but for me, they are a solid step down from the top 3. Maybe a whole tier lower. Booker, although playing mostly guard, is arguably in that second group of tackles skills-wise. But he's by far the best guard, in my view. Either way, Booker's probably looking at a first-round grade and is probably a top 15 or top 20 pick. So getting Booker would probably be either a trade-up or trade-back situation depending on the Patriots' strategy going in the draft, or maybe just some luck. Now, looking at the big board and the NFL's needs, there might be strong demand for a quarterback again this season, which most of the top QB prospects in the 2025 class look more like they're backups at best. But teams are going to take shots at them anyway, so expect them to be overdrafted in the top half of the first round. Then, corners are a strong group this year after a weaker class last year. Edge is strong this year, again, after a weaker class last year. Defensive tackles are deep and talented. but it's been a long time since we've had so many in that top 100 right now. The wide receiver group is kind of deep in terms of numbers throughout the rounds, but the top talent is only a handful of guys this year, so maybe there's a rush for those early on in the first. Tight ends are a strong group that might get some more attention this year because of the lackluster group last year, and could be a target because of the lack of elite receivers. Safety should have a few guys working for the first round valuation. Linebacker has a few guys that offer some pass rush versatility that could be picked up in the first or second. Even running back is another position that is strong. So the first round could get very interesting, and maybe even hectic. Now, the Patriots can benefit from drafting all those positions, particularly tackle, wide receiver, edge, and one can even argue corner. The positions that are not incredibly strong are guard and center. Now, that being said, there are definitely some studs in there, but it takes either a really weak draft class or some freak guards or centers to get that first round valuation. So, what's my point? Well, Booker will probably be considered the best guard in the draft, and his tackle prospects is going to give him a first-round grade on probably every team's board. Therefore, it's more than likely he is snatched up before the second round. I could see Dallas picking him up in the first if they don't want to re-up Zach Martin, or the Chiefs with Trey Smith, so he might not be available for the Patriots if they're hoping he falls to them in second. Maybe the Patriots trade back out of the top 5 or 10 position to get some extra draft capital, and take a chance at grabbing either Campbell, Banks, Ursery, or even Booker later in the first round. Or maybe they try to grab another player in the first round and burn that extra draft capital, move back up to get Booker. And I think he's worth the extra effort to try to get him. Ultimately, I'm all for finding a guy who can improve the offensive line play. If the guy is a lot better guard than the current guards, put him there. If he's better than the current tackles, put him at tackle. At this stage in the rebuild, you have to focus on finding good players rather than trying to fine-tune a roster like a team that's already established a base for a playoff push or possible Super Bowl run. And don't get me wrong, I really like the group we have right now. I'm rooting for all of them to develop. I'm hoping by the end of this year, the Patriots don't just have 2 guys that are validated starters, and the Patriots really have something going right now. But if not, Booker can be one of those players who becomes a core piece on that line and can allow you to make that spot-specific roster moves later on. Whatever happens this year and with the draft, I need them walking out of day 1 and or day 2 with 2 starting level offensive linemen in tow. Just think, don't you just want this offensive line headache to be over with? Especially now that it looks like you have a franchise quarterback in the room. If the offensive line play doesn't hold up this season, don't be surprised if Booker is a Patriot next season. Anyway, what do you guys think of Booker? Do you think the Patriots should go after him? Where should he play? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.